Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of July 17th through the 23rd of 2017. Is it getting a little steamy where you are? Because it's getting mighty warm this week. The energy is ramping up, it's moving into fire, and things are getting really, they're moving. Very energetic, let's put it that way. On the 20th, Mars will enter Leo. Then on the 22nd, the sun will enter its home sign of Leo. On the 23rd, we have a very special new moon at 0 degrees Leo. This is going to be the first of two. All right, you've heard me talking for months about that total solar eclipse in Leo on August 21st. Well, this one has to come first. All right, 0 degrees. We're like at the critical beginning of something in your life. And I want to make mention that even though it's not this week, that the very following day, when next week starts, Mercury will be entering shadow. So I almost feel like this is very time sensitive for launching things. You know, you've had the opportunity to get ready, and that time is coming. You know, so the cards here, I gotta tell you, they're very exciting. And when I was putting them down, a number of different sayings were going through my head. The things that I see, it's like you've taken something that was really, I'm going to say, well, we could say really bad because you had all those rough years, and you've turned it around. You've turned things in a positive direction, and even though you have so much more to go, you know that you're onto something here. Like, finally, okay? There's a lot of creativity here, first of all. You've been really doing new things, I believe, because you've essentially had to start from scratch and recreate. You know, it's almost as though you're being reborn by this new moon. You're not where you want to be, but there's something very special that's happening. I will be doing a really in-depth tarot guidance on Patreon for this. I don't even know. It might be an extra long one. I just feel like it deserves a lot more attention because all of the focus has gone to that eclipse that's coming next month. But I think it's just as important to know what's going on this week at this new moon, okay? I feel like you're finally starting to pull all of your resources together that are necessary to create this abundance. So here we are, it's July. You know, we've talked about that September, October, November timeframe and how things are moving along in a much more positive fashion by then. And it's not that they're not now. It's just that, like, right now, you can't just say, oh, I'm not going to do anything today because I'm going to let the universe handle it. That's not happening. This is about you. This is about what you're doing. You are the one creating it. It's your vision. And your vision is allowing you to move on. Okay? We're talking total recreation, like from the ground up. You already had, you know, that 5 years of chaos and implosion and debris in your life where you were just like, okay, you know, but it's like, you know, how when you see on TV where there's been some sort of a catastrophe and they're digging through the rubble and they find that one hand and that person, you know, can see the light of day coming through. That's how you feel, is like, I know I'm getting out of here. That gives me the absolute chills. You know that you are definitely leaving behind this portion of your life. You've been working on it and you've been going in a direction away from it, but there's still always been just those little dregs hanging along, like something clinging to your ankle, like my cat does when I walk through the house, just like going along with me. Okay, so you're shaking it all loose. I really think by this new moon, whatever you're undertaking, whatever you're doing, yeah, complete change. Complete change. This is towards your hopes and your dreams and your wishes. And, you know, you're learning to balance things. You're learning to really, a major part of this, and I'll try to explain it because it's been a process for you. It has been about your focus. all right? And we've talked about focus so much, about how it's possible to just want one thing so bad that you were not looking at all the other things that you needed to be looking at. And you've been broadening that view, especially this year, in recent months. And that's kind of why the universe held you up until you started looking around. And you're like, oh, okay. And now you're ready. Now you are ready, and you are, not wanting to be stuck anymore, for sure. Because there's still something that's stuck. Like I said, like the cat around my ankles. Like, come on now, let me go. That type of thing. So you're waiting for that part. I shouldn't say waiting, because that's not a word that I like. You have fought tooth and nail to get here. But you've done so through your truth and with success. This is like a total revamping, total reorganizing of life. Some of you, like I said, I think earlier, it's like it's from scratch. You've recreated so many parts of it. You're still you. You're still the same person. But there is just so much more to you now. So many more layers that are there. And, it's amazing. I think what's the most amazing is you feeling like the universe is there for you, where for so long you did not. This is a year of major change, and I don't think that anyone is being left out of this. I'll be honest with you. It's happening one way or the other. Obviously, there will be people who, the coming energies may bring their demise, but those who have already felt the hardships of recent years, they're finding their way out of that rubble. And, that's it. The light comes in and things are moving on. You might not feel like you're getting to where you want to be. I think more so like after the equinox, which is in September. I constantly need to remind everyone that you can't have it all in a day. But the difference here is that you've changed a lot of things. I feel like you already started back around the new moon in Cancer, okay? And you come a long way between that new moon and this new moon. And you're ready for some beginnings here. Things that you're really going to launch and actually make happen in your life. And then that puts you, I almost want to say, like, I see you waving goodbye in September, October, somewhere in there. It's before the year is over. And it's not maybe physically leaving a place, even though it could be. But the goodbye is like goodbye to the heartache, that type of thing. Because there's so much success here for you that it's just absolutely amazing. So, this is still a work in progress. I can't wait until we get to the parts where we've gotten past all of this. Get past the eclipses and that impending Mercury retrograde so that we can start talking about the positive direction that life is taking. Because, at that point, when you get into like September, October, November, things are just beginning to unfold. Things that you didn't even imagine. All right. And, what's going on here is that you're seeing it's in sight. That door is there. It's just ahead. It's kind of like crossing the finish line is what I think of it, okay? So it's coming very soon. Could there be an opening this week? That's a very good possibility, because I'm telling you, this new moon is very, very special. And I'm going to have a lot to say about it, I'm sure. Probably use some extra cards and everything for that one. But this is a time of, fresh starts coming in with this new moon. And everywhere I look, everywhere, I see an overflowing of emotion. Are you going to cry? If something really wonderful happens, you might shed a tear of joy. That's a good possibility, all right? Because it's almost like something comes your way that's a big reliever of stress. Wow, because there it is. Okay, I'm up, I'm ready to go. Something good's happening for you this week. It's like you're wondering if the end of all this is in sight. Because it's like there's been something that's just been hanging there that you're trying to do, And it changes. It actually changes this week. So you get to make a choice. We've talked about this pretty much everywhere. I think on the sun signs that I did for the month of July for everyone, about everybody getting to a point where you're at a crossroads and you need to figure it out. You know, where do your commitments lie? And what is it that you're going to do? This is a very crucial time. Wow. So at the very least this week, you are deciding and you are excited about it. But and it goes beyond manifesting. This is creating. You're being given the opportunity to mold things the way you want them to be, according to your vision. Maybe. All right. I know that there's some holdouts out there that have a skewed vision of what they think they want, and they've been too hyper focused, and the universe is going to make you say, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I need to go over here and look around. And that'll happen. All right. But there is, like, definitely, this is where at this new moon, you just start to see the true inklings of your new identity emerge. Okay. I don't think that this direction was anticipated. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be surprised, is what I'm trying to tell you. You're going to be surprised at the direction that you're taking. I think you've kind of been, viewing it from inside the box and staying with, this is how it's going to be. This is what I want to make. The universe is saying, open up to the possibilities. Your freedom from all of these situations is coming. Your rewards are coming. And there is nothing but change on the horizon. Now, does that mean that the world is going to be like musical chairs? Is everybody up and changes everything in their lives? I really don't think it's going to happen that way. Okay? A lot of it is, of course, a gradual process. And not every single thing in your life is going to change, nor is it in everyone else's. Although there are the occasional people who have things going on where nothing is the same by the time they get to like maybe November. So there really is some big change that's coming across the board. What I feel like here is that, if you started in June at that new moon with what you're, currently working on here, I still don't think it's until September, around the full moon, that you're like, that was fun, maybe not, but nonetheless, you're ready to celebrate that type of thing, okay? So there's a lot that's going on here. Even though this is a weekly reading, it's wanting to show that things are going so much smoother, by November. Late November, you're kind of cruising along. And you have to remember that along the way, you always have to stop and reassess your goals and, tweak your decisions as to what you're doing. Just because you made a decision doesn't mean that somewhere along the way you can't change your mind a little bit and say, well, now that I see how this is playing out, maybe I need to do this and that, and that's fine. But what is not good is when you allow yourself to succumb to fear and hold yourself back from the change and from the future. That's the only thing here that can really mess you up, is if you, I think, scenarios is a good word. If you start playing out scenarios in your head of how things might be, you're just wasting valuable time, okay? Do the real things that are before you, that are necessary, that prepare you for that new part of your life that's coming, okay? Worrying about them and doubting, oh, it'll never happen. Oh, what if I go do this and then this happens? Like that, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Come on now. Look at how much you have already survived. Stop struggling with those fears. I'm telling you, they are the only thing that can mess you up here, all right? So, live your truth. Because there's definitely, I guess what you would call, like if you're looking for the universe to offer you some justice, you're going to know that you're going to have it. Okay, that's good. And it's over the past, like cutting away the past and moving rapidly toward the future. Wow. Okay. And we're almost there. A lot of this is going to happen in August. Okay. So I think, whatever you're ready to undertake at this new moon. So you got this whole week here, and the 23rd is the new moon in Leo. You got a few days. Get yourself together. Make sure you know. I think that's why this week it's that time to ponder that direction and figure things out. There's a lot of work to be done in August, and it will be a very unsettled month. So getting things underway now, new things, not just the things you started at the new moon in Cancer, but this new moon at 0 degrees Leo is very important, because it's all the effort that you're putting in that puts you in the driver's seat, that has you saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to make happen. And yeah, you can definitely do this. All right. Like I said, it takes time, but it's all about your security. And there's still, like, sometimes when I look at it, I'm going to say, like, you still feel like you have that ways to go. And sometimes you don't feel like there's any help. But the universe offers you something this week to help you in a very creative fashion. It could come in the form of a marvelous idea, there's like divine inspiration that comes your way. And it definitely has to do with your vision and with that base that you're building. I don't think you're ever going to be done fortifying that base, because if you went through that 5 years of chaos and implosion and destruction of the life that you knew, then you are just like, I am building a freaking fort and nothing is getting in unless I say so. Okay, that's how it's going to be, and that's perfectly fine. But you're definitely, like, you're working hard at it. Let's put it that way. I can't wait to see what comes up for next week. These are some interesting times in which we live. So I want to thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you here again real soon.